Welcome to Sense of Style. I'm Stuart, and I think when it comes to age, there's more to it than just a number. Knowing who you are is really important. Knowing what you like and what you don't like, and not just chasing every trend trying to be someone you're not. Today, I have 10 different fragrances with varying styles. Some trendy, some not. All high quality, all are grown-up fragrances, and if you know who you are, you know which ones are yours. Fragrance number 1, this is Dior's Eau Sauvage. This came out in 1966. That's when Steve McQueen was at the height of his powers as a movie star. He was the embodiment of effortless, masculine cool. Not surprisingly, this was his fragrance of choice. It is a fragrance of its time, though. So it's got barbershop-y elements. It's got lavender. It's got oak moss. It's got basil. But ultimately, this is a fresh citrus fragrance, a lot of lemon, but it's got that little bit of barbershop bite that makes it a masculine fragrance of its time. This fragrance broke so many barriers back in the day. It was a template for the modern citrus aromatic. It was the first fragrance to have hédione, which is the modern jasmine note in any quantity. It's in here. It's 80% of the ingredients are naturals. And I swear, if you were to ask me, what is the one grown-up fragrance that you think of right away when you think of a grown adult that's put everything together? I'm going with this one every single time. Fragrance number 2 is Tom Ford's Ombre Leather, and what I love about this fragrance is it doesn't try and do too much. It doesn't try and overwhelm you with leather the way Tuscan leather does with that heavy leather feel. It doesn't chase trends the way Eau d'Ombre leather does by adding vanilla. No, it's just straight leather. There's a little bit of jasmine and amber, but most people just see it as a leather fragrance, smooth, almost like suede, so it doesn't complicate things. Whenever I see this bottle, I always think of one person, and that person is Clint Eastwood, because he was the original spaghetti western cowboy, a lot of leather being a cowboy. You got the boots, you got the saddle, you got the chaps, and so definitely a leather connection to Clint Eastwood. But as a director, he was the least complicated director there was. If he felt that he could capture everything in one take, great. And so he was the ultimate 1 or 2 take director. There's a great story with him working with Leonardo DiCaprio. DiCaprio wanted to take one more take, and eventually Eastwood had enough. He goes, okay, you go ahead and do the take. I'm going to take the rest of the crew and we're going to go over here. Let's not complicate things. They don't overcomplicate the leather here. Now, as far as chasing compliments, this is the kind of fragrance that, look, if you like leather, give me a compliment. That's great. And if you don't like leather, that's fine too. I don't need a compliment there. Yeah, this is not a trendy fragrance. This is an icon. Fragrance number 3, this is Givenchy Gentleman. It's now called Givenchy Gentleman 1974. And when Hubert de Givenchy was coming up with the idea for this fragrance, he said he wanted a fragrance with the elegance of the tuxedo and the virility of leather. And so the elegant component here, I think, is the patchouli. It's a really heavy patchouli fragrance, but a lovely patchouli. You've also got a lot of oak moss as well. And then you've got the edge element, you know, the virility. You've got a lot of leather, and then you've got a civet note. So it's got an animalic feel. And since I am coming up with famous people to go along with fragrances, I think for this one, I'm thinking Sean Connery, definitely one of the original James Bonds, definitely a lot of tuxedos. But yeah, he had a colorful personality away from the camera. He has a interesting interview with Barbara Walters in the 1980s. He said some not so nice things about women. I'm not going to say more than that. So yeah, he had the elegant factor, but he also had a real edge to him as well. The thing about this fragrance is it's more openly masculine than all the other fragrances I'm talking about today. The idea of masculine restraint really appeals to me. I think this one struggles with that factor a little bit. It's more, you know, openly masculine. Fragrance number 4 is Eau de Baux from L'Occitane en Provence, and this is a beautiful, warm evening scent. There is a quirk here, though. It's a good one. The price here is only $50. Everything else that I'm talking about today is more like in the $100 or $150 range. This one is really inexpensive, but it's a beautiful, warm, smoky scent. Now, Yeah, there's vanilla here. There's quite a bit, but this came out in 2006, before the gourmand trends. It actually took about a decade before it caught on. Like in the 2010s, it got very, very popular. It's a smoky vanilla though. So yeah, it's got a lot of vanilla, but it's got that masculine incense note. It's also got a very interesting aromatic note. Normally when you're putting herbs or greens in a fragrance, you're not going to put cypress in there, but this is called L'Occitan en Provence, and in Provence, cypress trees are everywhere. So the perfumer had an aromatic cypress note. It's absolutely gorgeous. If I'm thinking warm and approachable, but still masculine with the incense, I'm going with Jason Momoa. Very masculine, really nice guy, really warm guy. And oh man, this is a great, great fragrance. Fragrance number 5 is Creed's Green Irish Tweed. And look, if you know anything about fragrance history, and I absolutely love it, this thing is iconic. Like, this changed so many things. No other men's fragrance had as much impact as this, and it goes way beyond cool water. Our laundry detergent today smells the way it does because of Green Irish Tweed. I mean, it literally filtered all the way down there. Not only that, it changed the language. In the 1800s, Houbigant came out with Fougère Royale, and it was basically a barbershop fragrance, lavender, oak moss, and coumarin, right? Now this, in 1985, this came out, and people continued to call this a fougère. And so now when you talk about a fougère, you can either mean like a traditional barbershop, but most people really just mean a fresh masculine fragrance. And it all started here. People started doing it with this, and then it expanded. Massive, massive influence fragrance. I mean, it's a clean, classic, gentlemanly scent. I'm going to go with George Clooney. He is linked to this fragrance, but so are Tom Hanks, so is Clint Eastwood, so are so many movie stars. It's super innovative as well. Basically, they took what was essentially a fresh citrus fragrance, a lot of lemon verbena in here, and they just pumped it full of violet leaf, like tons and tons of violet leaf to give it like an ultra fresh feel. Really good performance. This fragrance is truly a legend and a really, really classic scent. In a recent video, I said that Oud Noir by Versace was one of the very few Versace fragrances designed for men, not boys. I got another one for you, a supremely underrated fragrance. This is the Dreamer. Now, this is a very inexpensive fragrance that, quite frankly, I don't get the price. I don't understand it because the construction here is beautiful. In 1995, Jean-Paul Gaultier came out with Le Male, and it was a huge success. Now, Gianni Versace, he was a little jealous. He wanted, though, to make a Le Male fragrance, not for young men, but for more mature gentlemen, and it was going to smell like it, but it was constructed very, very differently, and he succeeded. That's exactly what this is. The scent here is very similar to Le Male, but it's way more grown up. Like, you're going to get 4 floral notes here, including iris, so there's a real powdery feel to it. You're also going to get amber instead of vanilla, so it's not going to blow you away. And the details of the aromatic notes, it's not like common notes like mint and lavender. You're going to get things like Artemisia and juniper and tarragon. So it's way more adult. This is a beautiful fragrance, very, very powdery. And when I think about a fragrance like this, I'm thinking of somebody artistic. I'm going to go with Timothée Chalamet. Definitely introspective, artistic, and honest to God, I love this fragrance so much. I don't know how many times I've thought of making this my signature scent, but I just don't like the original Le Male DNA enough to do so, but I just love what they did here. Fragrance number 7 is warm but elegant. Just like David Bowie, this is Noir Ambre from Issey Miyake. And yes, David Bowie was kind of distant when he was on stage, but off stage, warm, lovely gentleman, very much a gentleman. And so is this fragrance. Definitely a lot of warmth here. You're going to have vanilla, tonka, and amber, but this is not a vanilla bomb. There's a lot of spices here. It's a lot of saffron and cinnamon. It's also a leather fragrance, so it's got the masculine component. It is somewhat similar to Habdan by Parfum de Marly, but this is a little bit fresher. There's more saffron here than that. That's a little bit too dense. This is like definitely not for boys. It's super expensive now, very difficult to find. And if you do, I mean, you'll be lucky to get it for $250 US. Used to be a $60, $70 fragrance. Phenomenal performances. Hardly anything bad I can say about this. Not that I'd want to. Noir Ambre. Now, it has taken us some time to get to vetiver, but it's here. This is Jacques Fath's Le Loden, and this fragrance has 3 vetiver notes in the open, in the mid, and in the base. It's also got a lot of tobacco, it's got some patchouli, it's got juniper, so it's got an aromatic feel, but it's just a ton of vetiver. It feels kind of like a green scent beyond that. Just a lovely, lovely, again, super underrated scent. It's crazy how little I paid for this. Very clean, very elegant. I'm going to go with Gregory Peck on this one. Yeah, if you're looking at clean, classy gentleman, Gregory Peck fits the bill, and so does this. Fragrance number 9 is also very clean, but in an entirely different way. This is Karl Lagerfeld's For Him. And instead of it using vetiver, there's a lot of violet. That's a very sharp note. There's a lot of violet. There's a lot of lavender. There's a little hint of fruitiness. There's apple and mandarin. You think it would be a little more fruity, but it's not. But you can definitely pick it up. It took me a little while. Once I got the fruit, I felt better about the fragrance. I didn't feel like I was just being overwhelmed with like cleanliness. So very, very clean. This is a super inexpensive fragrance too. I think Le Loden is normally not as inexpensive as what I paid for it, but this one is normally quite cheap. This would be a great office fragrance, definitely a gentleman. I'm thinking of someone like Paul Newman, another clean living. You know, he stayed with the same wife for years in Hollywood. That's hard to do, Joan Woodward. So yeah, very clean, masculine fragrance. And finally, we've got Royal Oud by Creed. This is my favorite Creed fragrance. It's really not an oud fragrance at all. There is some oud, but it's mostly cedar. There's some sandalwood in it as well. But it has all kinds of cool facets. It's got spicy pink pepper, and it's got some green elements with galbanum. So yeah, it does a number of different things. Very gentlemanly fragrance. So slightly exotic, I guess the name. It's got oud in it, but mostly a Western fragrance. So I'm going to go with someone who splits the difference, like Omar Sharif, big movie star back in the day. I think he fits this really well. He was also a gentleman. This is a gentlemanly fragrance. And so, yeah, I thought this topic was kind of cool, kind of different. I wanted to add more fragrances. Yeah, the whole adding the people. I mean, once I got to number 2, I'm like, hey, why not? Why not go for it and just keep adding names? And I'm a bit of a celebrity junkie, so I came up with them. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this. A little bit different. Thanks for watching.